Hi guys, thanks for checking into today's video. In today's video, I am going to be doing my top 5 countdowns for primers, drugstore foundations, and high-end foundations. So if you want to see what my favorites are, just keep watching. To share with you my top 5 primers, high-end foundations, and then also drugstore foundations. So I'm going to start with the primers first, and I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to go from number 5 to number 1. So the first one for primers is by The Ordinary, and it is their High Spreadability Fluid Primer. This stuff is just a beautiful, beautiful primer. I'm going to tell you, I don't like primers that get really sticky and tacky and you feel like you're wearing them. I like something that leaves my skin feeling soft and hydrated. So that's exactly what this one does. It is it has a dropper on it, and as you can see, it's pretty thick and just has a beautiful, beautiful finish to it. You don't need a lot of this to blend in, but I just put a little bit on my fingers and blend it in all over, and I'm good to go. Just leaves my skin feeling beautifully. I haven't had any problems, actually, with any of these primers I'm going to talk about. I haven't had any problems with them not playing good with any of my foundations. So that's why they made it into my top 5. Now, I wouldn't be honest with you if I didn't say I go in and fill my pores. I do. I pretty much go along my forehead, right along in here, and then a little bit down in this area. So I do need to have Benefit's Professional to do that. That's just been an all-time great. It does a wonderful job. It's got a little bit of a tint to it, as you can see, but that tint really does go away after you blend it in. So you can see it doesn't really show, but what I like to do, and really what you should do, is in the areas you're going to be putting it in, is I just pat it into those areas and just really push it into the pores, and then lightly do, just very lightly do a quick little buff out with that. But that just does a fabulous job of going in and filling in the pores. Now, this would be considered a high-end one, and one that I find is just as good but a lot more affordable is by Made Sheer, and it is their Base Magic Primer. This one, it looks pink, but it doesn't go on pink. It's a thick paste, and all I do is take a little bit on the back of my nail. You can use a spatula, your finger, or whatever. I just don't like getting it under my fingernails, and I apply it. And then just the warmth of your skin, it's already, I can feel it, just melts it. And again, I just go and press that in. It's what I'm wearing right now with another primer, because again, I just use this in the areas where I need a little bit of extra help with my pores, and it just does a beautiful job filling those in. So I will have a link for all of these products down below in the description box if you're interested in trying this out, but I think this is like $6 or something, so really inexpensive. Another high-end one is by Amazing Cosmetics, and it is their Anti-Aging Face Primer. This one just has such a beautiful, beautiful finish to it. It's clear. You can see it right there. And it just leaves this beautiful, hydrating, creamy, almost like a powder type finish once it gets rubbed into your skin. But I love to just go everywhere with this, including under my eyes and on my lids. I go very lightly on the lids because if you do go a little bit overboard with that, I've noticed it causes a little bit of problems with my eyeshadows not quite adhering very well and blending very well. So you won't, anyway, I always go in with powders over my foundations and everything anyway, but this is a great, great option. And then for a drugstore version of that, this is the Touch and Soul No Problem Primer. This one comes out pink, doesn't stay pink. And again, a little bit goes a long way on your face. It's got that same powdery finish to it. Silicone feeling at first, but then it dries down to like a powder type finish, and also very hydrating, so just like the Amazing Cosmetics is. So that is the number 1. So let's move on to the drugstore foundations. I have to say I had to do quite a bit of testing lately just to I knew which ones were going to be like in the top 10, but then I had to figure out the top 5 and then what order they were going to go in. Some of them were really, really close or even like a tie. So I'll go in order. Number 5 is the LA Girl Pro Coverage High Definition Foundation. This stuff is just absolutely beautiful. It's really, really inexpensive. It comes in a pump, and I'll go ahead and just put a little bit of that out. And probably I probably need a new color in a lot of these foundations now since it's no longer summertime and I'm not really fake tanning. But that's the coverage of that right there. It just is such a beautiful, easy to blend, high coverage foundation that doesn't look like, it looks like your skin. So that's why I like all of these foundations I'm about to show you, is because they really do look like your skin. Keep in mind, I am a full coverage type of person, so if you're not full coverage, maybe these might not be your cup of tea. Just keep in mind, just because something is something I like doesn't mean that it's going to work for you or even be one of your favorites. So you may have something that you absolutely love that I'm not going to be talking about here. And that could be because I just haven't tried it yet. So leave me a comment down below if you think there's something I should be trying. Or it's something that I absolutely love and you did not care for at all. So again, we all have different skin types and it's just the way it is. The next one is the Catrice HD Liquid Coverage. This is just another beautiful finish to it. This one does have a dropper. I'm going to set that bottle down before I tip it over. And I'll go on this side of my hand. So this one's a little bit on a thinner consistency, except for when you go to spread it out. It just does such a beautiful job blending out, becoming one with your skin. It's one that you can go in with either a brush or a sponge. I really don't have a preference on that. But again, another great, very affordable drugstore foundation that you can use. Moving on to number 3 and number 2. This was one of those ones that was just so close. I really have to say that I like them both equally. But I like them equally, but for different reasons. They're both by number 7. One is the Airbrush Away Foundation and the other one is the Lift and Illuminate. So let's go on this hand. Why am I wearing white when I'm putting on foundations? So the Lift and Illuminate, it has a pump, whereas the Airbrush Away has a dropper on that. So I should be telling you the colors I'm on to everything. Sorry about that. The LA Girl, I'm in Fair. The Catrice, I am in number 020 Rose Beige. The Airbrush Away in Cool Ivory, and the Lift and Illuminate in also Cool Ivory. So same color on both of these. This one on the left is, I guess that's gonna be on your left. I'm trying to remember because everything's backwards. Anyway, this one is the Airbrush Away and this is the Lift and Illuminate. So you can see there's a big difference in the consistency of these. So let me rub these out. The finish on both of them is just beautiful. The Lift and Illuminate I find to be more hydrating, but a thicker coverage. So right now you probably can't even really see the difference between the two. They're just beautiful. Just beautiful. And I better start wiping some things off of me here or I'm gonna have a mess. All right, the next one is one that is brand new for me. I've only been using it about a week, but I have to say I have absolutely fallen in love with this foundation. This is the Maybelline Superstay Foundation. It is full coverage. I'm in the color 120 Classic Ivory. It too has a pump, but I tell you, this one is so full coverage that looks just like your skin. It's what I'm wearing right now, and I just did this in my latest Battle of the Foundations. I'm going to leave a card probably at the very end of this video that has the playlist of all of my Battle of the Foundations. When you're in the playlist, you can just search for the name of the foundation and you'll be able to find those videos. But that's what this looks like. I actually prefer going in with a brush with this one, but it is just gorgeous. And it's a $10 foundation. Hello, it lasts all day. It doesn't sink into fine lines or wrinkles, which for us older gals is just exactly what we need because we don't need to emphasize those things. I will let you know my skin tends to be normal to a little bit dry, more drier in the winter months, and I do get just a little bit oily right around my nostrils, but that's not until like way late in the day. So that's kind of my skin and what I'm dealing sorry, knocked everything out. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with my skin type. So let's move on to the high-end foundations now. All right, at number 5 is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. And you're probably wondering why, for the dollar amount of this, why this isn't my number 1. I just don't find it gives me as full of coverage as I would like to have with my other foundations. So this one, I'm in the color 40N. I hope. I'm going to leave everything down below. You can see this is a very, very thin, more watery consistency. It blends out beautifully. But this stuff is a small fortune. And again, I just don't feel like it gives me as full of coverage as some of my other foundations do. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful. I just have a very hard time for what you pay for this, because I think this bottle was 40 some dollars, and this is the small trial size one, so you don't even get a full ounce in this. Just even say 0.60 ounces, and then it's 60 some dollars for a full ounce of the foundation. So this is number 5. And number 4 is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick. And I'll tell you why I love this. Yes, it's a stick formula and you think it's going to be dry and hard to blend. It's not. Once it hits your skin warms it up. It just blends in beautifully. Doesn't matter, again, if you use a brush or if you use a sponge on this. It's one of those foundations that if I have trouble with another foundation maybe adhering in all areas, because sometimes, you know, on your nose you get those foundations that just really don't stick very well, I will go in with this in those trouble areas, put that on first, and then apply the other foundations over the top of it. But again, this starts out as a thick consistency, blends out so beautifully, and again, great full coverage, and it's also one that's very travel friendly because you don't have to worry about it breaking in anything. So that one I really appreciate. It's again one you can just, if you need to touch up your foundation at all during the day, it's something you can easily just go in, you know, maybe you went somewhere and you got a little sweaty and you kind of sweated off some of your makeup. This is when you can go in and just touch those areas up really easily. Next, at number 3 is the Lancôme Teint Idéal Ultra 24-Hour Makeup. They have these long names. I am in the color 270, I think it's a Bisque W. And this is one that's got a 15 SPF in it. It's a 24-hour makeup. Again, we have a pump on it. It's a little bit of a thicker formula compared to some of the other ones, and it's just a beautiful, creamy, hydrating feeling to it. It's just gorgeous. It has a little bit of a scent to it, just a little bit of a florally scent, but that's the coverage you get. do find that this color is a little bit off for me, so I think I need to get one that's a little bit better. And I'm going to give you some swatches on all of these colors here at the end of the video, so that way you can see how they look compared to each other. Okay, 2 more to go. Glad you are sitting tight with me here. So the number 2 position is the YSL All Hours Foundation. Oh my gosh, this has been my favorite foundation for quite some time now. This is so beautiful. I'm in the color B40 Sand. Again, we've got a thicker consistency. It's so hydrating feeling, doesn't leave my skin feeling dry or patchy. It just blends out so beautifully. This one does have definitely a floral scent to it, so if you are sensitive to scents, that might not be one that you care for, but I love it. And I don't know if we need a drum roll or not, but let's move on to number 1. You guys want to take an educated guess? If you've been watching my series at all, you may have already guessed, but it is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. This is just phenomenal, phenomenal. I don't know what it is. It's got fairy dust and some unicorn, I don't know. It's just beautiful foundation. This one I am in the color Creme Brulee 150G. It's actually a little bit on the yellow side for me when I apply it, but once I go in and put the rest of my powders and bronzers and everything else on, it blends out beautifully and does a great skin match for me. But this just covers everything. I actually prefer blending this out with a brush and not a sponge, but for the most part I only need 1 layer of it, and it just goes in and covers everything so fast, so effortlessly, and it lasts all day. Again, it doesn't settle into any of my fine lines or my pores. It doesn't oxidize. None of these oxidize on me, by the way. So I just absolutely love that one. So let me go ahead and I'm going to put some swatches in here for you and show you what the different colors are. Alright, I hope you can see these swatches because I went a little bit wonky on my arm. So the top one here is the LA Girl, and again this is in the color Fair. The second one down is the Catrice in color 020 Rose Beige. Then we have the number 7, trying to see here, right there. This is the Airbrush Away. And again in Cool Ivory, and also in Cool Ivory I have the number 7 Lift and Illuminate, so that's the one down below. And last but not least, this one right there is the Maybelline Superstay, and that is in the color Classic Ivory 120. So let me go ahead and swatch the high-end ones as well. Alright, these are the swatches. I think I did a little bit better this time. So the top one is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. This is in the color, actually I think it's color number 5. So I'll have that down below. The next one down is the Makeup Forever HD Stick. And in color, I think I forgot to tell you the color of this one. It's 120 equals Y245. Get some of their number choices on these. Then we have the Lancome Teint Idol, which is this one right there. And again in the color 270 Bisque W. Then we have the YSL All Hours Foundation, which is this darker one right there. Down below that, we have the Huda Beauty in the color 150G Creme Brulee. And then for kicks and giggles, I went in just to kind of give you a comparison. This is, again, the Maybelline Superstay right down below the Huda Beauty. So you can see there's definitely a difference in the colors of them, but the consistency and the way they wear is just almost identical. So you can get 4 of these for the price of 1 of these. The big savings. Alright, so there you are with my top 5s for primers and foundations. Leave me a comment down below letting me know what are your top primers and your top drugstore and high-end foundations as well. I'd love to know what you guys think. And again, if there's any things that you think I should be giving a try, please leave me a comment on that as well. So I always do a battle of the foundations every Thursday. I have a playlist for that. I just looked and I have 29 videos in there now. So there's all different kinds of foundations. If you've missed any of them, please go check out the playlist and you can get my thoughts on a bunch of different types of foundations. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I may still have my contest going on, so I have one for hitting 1,000 subscribers. Since at the time of filming this, I'm almost there. But I have a huge giveaway. Actually, I have 3 giveaways to do in that video. So do go check that out. I'll leave a card right here for it. I'll put in the title closed when it's actually closed. So if you don't see closed, that means it's still open, and go in and please go ahead and make sure that you're subscribed and enter the contest on that video as well. So I love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, bye-bye.